We left Liberalitas the way we had come, through the tunnels. I thought they installed lights in the tunnels, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Now we're just back up top. We arrived back in the Sanctuary District and walked side by side. I can't see anybody, but I shouldn't drop my guard. We might run into the hounds at any moment.
Why are you looking like you own the world?
Own the world? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm scanning the surroundings.
No need to. There's nobody here. Not anywhere close.
I agree, but someone might crawl out of the woodwork.
Crawl. Out of the woodwork. By the way...
Adage fell silent and looked at me. Yes?
You treated Elkreed like a criminal, didn't you?
Someone I knew, Merlot, told me about him.
Merlot?
Yes, the boy and the little family I stayed with.
I see.
He told me that Elkreed abducts people.
I see.
Why are you laughing?
You're so strong and stubborn most of the time, but then you get scared of a lizard, or believe what a little boy tells you.
Is there a problem?
Not really. It fits your age, I suppose. But it surprised me. I thought you would be less approachable.
Adage. I wasn't sure whether to interpret that as a compliment or an insult. The impression I had of you when we first met was also rather different.
What did you think about me?
Blunt and strange. Now it was his turn to ponder his own reaction to that. But you did help me, even though you didn't know me. You treated me to really nice food today. You definitely have the heart of a human being.
I have the heart of a human being because I treated you to food.
I didn't mean it exactly like that. Don't twist my words.
Oh, I will. That's what I do.
At least you're cognizant of the fact. He smiled. I know that you're not a bad person, but...
Yes?
You really need to do something about your cooking.
I don't plan on improving. And it's still 100 times better than you because you can't cook at all.
Maybe right now that's true. But you're going to eat those words once I learn how to cook.
Let's hope you can back that up. I don't have much hope, though.
Which is it? You won't regret pinning your hope on me.
Fine. I'll hope for something edible, I suppose.
You'll eat your words along with my cooking. The conversation went on until we arrived back at Adage's house. We stepped inside, pleased that the trip had been uneventful since the attempted robbery in Liberalitas.
I'm tired.
I thought he collapsed on the bed, just like... But no, he's putting the bag on the table. We entered the first room, and Adage put the bag on the table. It made a heavy metallic sound. I really should have helped him carry. It was too late to regret not doing it. I watched Adage stretch his shoulders. I have to help you carry next time. I'm your assistant. Let me help you. I want to be given more work.
Yes, plucking weeds isn't enough. I'll give you more work once I know I can trust you.
Trust?
Yes. The bag's contents are valuable. I can't hand that over to you yet.
Adage opened the bag, retrieving medicine and surgical tools and putting them away in the cupboards. I didn't recognize any of the tools, since I was ignorant of medical work for the most part.
I applaud your spirit. Now all you have to do is do your work well enough. Make me happy that I hired you.
All right, I will.
Good answer. You answer well. Good luck with the rest of the weeds in the garden.
I still have to do that?
Of course, we need the vegetable garden.
But there are lizards. Hello?
Adage! Open up, please!
I know that voice. I went to the door and opened it. Oh, hi.
He's gravely injured. I want you to save him.
I can't believe I'm getting an Ines CG on this. What? Sir Ines was standing outside. The man around his shoulder was as pale as a corpse. Sir Ines!
Why are you here? Never mind, it's not important right now.
Oh boy, if we help this guy that's injured, he's gonna tell Socks where I am, and then Adage is gonna get in the crossfire, the bleh.
Adage, one of ours was injured. Please treat him.
Why did you not take him to Glissade?
Me. Circumstances prevent me from asking the hounds. This is the man. Help him.
Circumstances?
I won't. I can't.
But Adage...
I told you, I won't help anyone who can't be saved. He's lost so much blood that it's a miracle he's still alive. Give him a peaceful death. I refuse. He told me he wants to live and to return to the heights. I won't end that dream. Adage, please, treat him.
He looked like he was burned, maybe.
Fine, I'll do what I can, but he's not going to survive. You won't know that until you try. But I do know. Put him down on the medical table there. Okay. Don't worry. He's a good doctor. You'll survive. Thank you.
Slap. Adage stared at Sir Ines carrying the man. After scratching his head, he opened a cupboard.
You're in the way. Both of you, outside. Okay, let's go.
Sir Ines nudged me towards the door and we left. I turned around and looked at Adage before the door closed. He seemed conflicted and torn. I wish I could stay with him. Alright, well, good luck, boy. Hope you got this. Will Adage be alright? I couldn't forget the expression I had seen on his face as I left. It worried me. But if I went in again, I would only be in the way. I had no medical skills. Some assistant I am. I shook off my doubt and frustration. Then I took a deep breath and felt calm again. Sir Ines must be worried for his man as well. He hadn't calmed down since leaving the medical room. He was alternating between standing in thought with his arms crossed and pacing back and forth. Eventually, he stopped and hung his head. Is the man you brought your friend, Sir Ines?
What do you mean?
I was confused by the anger in his voice and fell silent. I started this conversation and now I have to finish it. You seem desperate to save him. I thought you might know him well.
Can't I be worried even if he's not my friend? Is that wrong? I don't know him very well, but he's one of my men, and I have to help him if he's wounded. Don't you agree?
I agree. I'm sorry I asked an obvious question. He was armed. Who was able to wound him so severely?
Well...
You can't tell me.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked about something that doesn't concern me.
I was meaning to ask you earlier, but why are you here? You don't look hurt.
I was hired as Adage's assistant.
You were? Do you have any medical skills?
None at all. I help him around the house for the most part, and I pluck weeds.
I see. Well, I'm glad you were able to find a job.
Yes, I'm glad too. Serenus' voice had softened, and I knew he meant it. I can't stand the hounds. It always surprises me that a good man like him is working for them. Frankly, I thought he was wasted there. We heard the door open and both turned around. As soon as Serenus saw Adage, he ran over.
Adage, is he... No. But... Really? Yes. I did all I could, but he didn't make it.
Adage's voice was flat and disinterested. Serenus reached out to grab him. At the last moment, he closed his fist, resting it on Adage's chest instead.
You don't want to punch me? No. It's my fault. I shouldn't have waited for Socks to leave and brought him here earlier. I was afraid I would be accused of disobeying orders. Thank you for doing what you could. He's dead. No need to thank me. I knew it was too much to ask. I was prepared for this. If you did what you could, I can't complain. Thank you, Adage.
Adage nodded and went back inside. The door was left open. We understood this to mean that we should follow.
I was prepared for this, but I wanted him to survive.
The wind and the night drowned out the rest of what Sir Ines said. So, major blood loss. Maybe what looked like burns were just bloody wounds. What happened to that guy? Inside, Adage was standing near one of the walls. The man was no longer breathing. He was wrapped in a blood-stained blanket. I wondered if Adage had really done all he could. Surgical implements were scattered on the medical table and on the floor. Adage's clothes were smeared with blood. Sir Ines closed the door carefully. Adage picked up a sheet of paper from one of the other tables.
The cause of death is blood loss from... Well, you can see the wound yourself. Based on the wound, the attacker showed no hesitation or guilt. Very severe.
Who would do this?
What should be done with the body? When our men fall in the line of duty, their families in the Heights are contacted. They decide whether they want to accept the corpse, but generally they refuse. We are abandoned when we're assigned to the hounds.
Sir Ines looked at the man, as if asking himself whether this family would be different.
It seems he told his family that he would return. They might accept his corpse. I can't tell you anything about that. He's only going to start rotting here. Decide what you want done with him.
Adage, please try to be more civil.
No, it's fine. He's right. Can I leave him here for the night? I'll send someone to collect him in the morning. Okay. I'll put him in the storage shed next to the house. Thanks. I'm in your debt.
I guess that's one way to return to the Heights. Sir Ines. Nobody could resurrect the dead, but... Adage, did you really have to be so unfriendly to him?
Doesn't matter. I can sugarcoat it, but this guy isn't coming back. I'm not going to waste time on that.
Waste time. He was a doctor. Dealing with death was a normal part of his work. Perhaps that was why it didn't affect him the way it did me. Besides, I can't blame him. He had gone out of his way to try and save a life he couldn't save. He had done all he could have for Sir Ines. He probably feels guilty, like he did when he hired me. Adage folded the paper, put it on the table, and rolled up his sleeve. From a drawer, he retrieved a rough-spun piece of cloth and nudged it under the corpse. Do you dispose of corpses as well if you can't treat them?
Leaving them unattended would be a source of disease. I don't care about the sanctuary district, but I keep this area clean. There's nothing you can do. Go to bed.
Adage. Practical. I mean, if he says there's nothing I can do, then I'm just getting in the way. He does like compliments, though. It's one of these. This, he's gonna get irritated. Compliment? Compliment. Adage looks tired. I was hoping there might be something I could help with, but it looked like I was only in the way. I understand. Good night. And good work, Adage.
Yes, you too.
What did I do? I didn't do any work. I'm not tired either, as you can see.
You walked a long way. It must have been exhausting. Don't stay up late.
All right. You're like my mother.
What? Your father, if anything, right? Are you getting gender correct?
My mother was the stricter one when it came to my upbringing. Good night, mother. No, you shall call me Daddy. You will like it. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. I couldn't help it, okay?
No, your father.
I'm mature. I closed the door and looked at the clock. It's already late at night. Time passes so quickly. I took my blankets and sat down on the sofa. When I lay down, I could feel my fatigue washing over me. It was a long day, now that I think about it. I had plucked weeds from the garden, and then we had gone to Librelitas. Serenas came here to have the man from the hounds treated. I closed my eyes, remembering. There had been only one deep wound, but it killed him. The attacker must have cut without hesitation. He must have hated the man. It was a skilled cut, so why didn't he kill him? It was needlessly cruel. Is it the same person who killed Rylith and Merlo? I was facing up, looking at the ceiling. The men from the hounds are armed. I can't believe someone killed one. He must have been really unpopular. There were probably others with a conscience in there, just like Serena's, but in a uniform they all looked the same. Yes. They all look the same if you don't know them. It was the same with the area beyond the wall. Before Adage had taken me there, I had thought that it was a place at least as bad or worse than the Sanctuary District. But it wasn't. It's an advanced civilization, densely populated. I had learned so many things in such a short time. I expected I would learn even more that upended my assumptions. There are so many surprises here compared to the Heights. But not all revelations were going to be positive. I had to be careful. This is true. Ominous revelations are ominous. Alright, Adage, what you got for me this time? Okay, went outside.
I closed the door of the storage shed behind me and steadied myself against it. The body was laid out inside it now. I'd used a handcart, but it had still been a lot of work. I wiped the sweat off my cheeks with the back of my hand and looked up. The sky was as gray and heavy as usual. I couldn't see the stars. Not a single one. The stink is horrible. It was the stench of death clinging to me. No amount of washing could clear it. It was stuck to my very soul. That's why I didn't want to do it. I shouldn't have tried to operate. I knew he was going to die. I knew I couldn't prolong his life. The result had been preordained. Nothing I could have done would have changed it. I'll never get the supplies back. But more than anything, it hurts to lose another life. The fleeting remnants of his life had run through my fingers like sand. There was no way to hold on to it, and so it had slipped away. Could I have saved him with better medical tools, with better medical skills? I didn't know. There was no objective observer to tell me. It's all over now. I can't change it. That's why I hate this. A doctor's job is saving lives. Being unable to save a life, being reminded of my limitations. I hate that. I hate being reminded of my shortcomings. I hate my own inability. I had to learn more. I had to be better, and perhaps I could save one more life that I couldn't otherwise. That's my reason to keep going.
Okay. Motivation from being a doctor. Did someone close die to him at some point? Is that how he got into being a doctor? It's morning already. Warm light washed over my eyelids. I opened them slowly. I sat up and stretched. No clang of the frying pan today. Sunrise had been a few hours ago, and warm rays of light came in through the window. I slept in. Feeling hungry, I stood up. Where is Adage? Oh. The sound of steady breathing came from his bed. There was a book by his pillow. He had fallen asleep reading. I didn't hear him come in last night. Is he fast asleep? He didn't wake as I approached. His expression is so peaceful. His breathing was even and quiet. It calmed me down as well. I'm thirsty. I'll drink some water. I don't know, if you look at a sleeping guy and your first thought is, I'm thirsty, I don't know if water's going to help. I left the room, careful not to wake Adage. It really is very clean. I drank water from a cup and looked around the room. The medical equipment was the only standout feature. There were no scraps of paper lying around. Everything was strictly organized. There was nothing to remind me of the corpse that had lain on the examination table. All the blood had been wiped away. He did all the cleaning himself. That must have taken some time. I had offered to help him, but he hadn't let me. I need to build his confidence and trust in me so that I can help him. I'm getting hungry. But this isn't my house. I shouldn't touch anything. Actually, maybe this is an opportunity. I think he put all the cooking pots over here. Oh, yes. Adage is asleep right now. I can cook while he's...
No, you can't.
Adage!
Good morning.
How long were you standing behind me?
Good morning. Say it.
All right. Good morning.
Yes, good. You don't have the right to cook yet. Don't act without permission.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So, what were you trying to steal?
I wasn't trying to steal anything. I was trying to cook. It's morning.
You ate a lot yesterday. You have a greedy stomach. I'm a little envious.
When did you wake up? I didn't hear you. Adage shrugged and said noise had woken him.
I heard something and caught a thief. If you want something to eat, wake me up.
A thief. I'm not a thief. He doesn't really mind work. We've established this. I was being kind. Yes. I'm sorry, Adage. I didn't want to disturb your sleep.
I appreciate that, but it isn't necessary. I don't need a lot of sleep.
Really?
Yes. Doctors are that sort of creature. Someone might bring a patient in at any moment, like yesterday.
Yesterday. What happened to the corpse?
What I said would happen. The hounds picked it up while you were sleeping.
Did you see them come?
Of course. I don't want them rummaging through my shed.
Then... when did you go to sleep?
That doesn't concern you. I know my limits. If I tell you that I'm fine, then I'm fine.
I see. Well, don't overwork yourself, Adage.
Of course not. At any rate, I'll prepare the food now. I'll do it, not you. Sit quietly over there.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Yes?
do you know what sit means?
Yes?
Then why are you standing next to me? You're in the way. Sit on a chair over there.
Why can't I stand over here? I want to watch you cook and learn. Your cooking lacks flavor, Adage, so I'd like to be able to cook instead.
Very commendable. But no, absolutely not. Get away from me. Sit over there.
Why? Observation is a perfectly acceptable way to learn.
What good will learning from me do if you're trying to learn how to cook better than I can?
Well, if I'm not allowed to watch you cook, then how am I ever going to learn cooking?
None of my business. I might let you use the kitchen someday. Then you'll have to figure something out. The point is, watching me is a waste of time, and I don't want your cooking to be just as bad as mine.
That makes sense. All right. Glares at me over his shoulder.
I'm glad you agree. It does annoy me a little that you're just accepting it without comment, though.
I mean, I literally argued with you about it for 2 minutes. I'd say I commented. Slowly but surely, food began to appear in front of me. The quality aside, Adage certainly knew how to cook with many different ingredients. Eggs had been manipulated. Meat had been tinkered with. Some green stuff had been chopped. Oh good, the water tastes like water. Based on what I can see from here, the elements used in the cooking seem normal enough. Which means it's just the preparation that's so badly awry. So the next conundrum is how I go about earning the right to cook.
You're thinking out loud. I'd bet good money that the nobility are the only people who care so little how they seem to others.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't say that to get an apology from you. I was merely astonished. I only talked with nobility because of my work when I was in the Heights.
Your work?
Yeah. I was employed at a hospital. A lot of different kind of patients came in.
Adage aimed something vaguely egg-themed at his mouth and set both elbows on the table.
Hey, why did they exile you?
From the Heights?
Yes. To the Sanctuary District. You must have committed a crime. Did you leave a restaurant without paying?
I wouldn't do that. I was indicted on false charges. But I didn't want to talk about that. But Adage is helping me, and I owe him something. He was probably going to be taking care of me for some time yet. I couldn't lie to him. I was sent here for the murder of my parents.
Your parents?
Yes, but the charges were false. I didn't kill my parents.
Really?
Of course. I loved both my father and my mother from the bottom of my heart. I loved my family. Who would harm their family?
Some people do.
Hmm?
I assumed you were implying that no human being would kill their family. But not everyone is on good terms with their parents. I'd say the majority aren't.
But...
They aren't. I'm a doctor. I've seen children abused by their parents. Besides...
Yes? Were you sent here for killing your parents?
Nothing. Anyway, I don't think you killed them. Your upbringing was most likely peaceful and harmonious. They must have loved you in return. Or at least I think so.
Yes. They always wanted the best for me. But at the time, that always seemed so normal to me, and I took it for granted. I was grateful, but I didn't show it sufficiently.
Sometimes you only realize the value of what you had after it's gone. If you didn't kill them, who did? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. I had no chance to investigate that or prove my innocence. I was exiled immediately.
Can you accept that? Can you accept being blamed for someone else's crime? Blamed for the murder of your parents?
Of course not. I want to go back to the Heights and clear my name. But I know it's going to be hard to accomplish that. I have to focus on what I can do right now. Here. You've given me a chance, and I don't want to waste it, Adage.
A chance?
Yes. A chance to live. For the time being, I'm only pulling out weeds, but eventually I want to convince you that I can do other things. I lost my family and my home, but I won't lose my pride. I need to leave the past behind me and find a way into the future. If I work to improve and learn new skills, then eventually an opportunity will open up for me. Adage said nothing, simply looking at me. The fact that I had no idea what he was thinking made me nervous. Well, declaring all that is the easy part. Now I need to see it through. It must sound pretty ambitious from a freeloader. I'm a little embarrassed at myself.
It's all right. I envy your ability to let go of the past.
Adage? His expression was cloudy. It disconcerted me. Why were you sent here, Adage? You must have committed a crime if they exiled you to the Sanctuary District.
I was a doctor in the Heights. Doctors deal with death every day. That's all I want to say.
I see. Were you accused of deliberately, killing someone under your care in the hospital? And that's why you're so hung up over people dying down here? I know that it's hard for him to talk about. I wanted to know what had happened, but I also didn't want to ruin our relationship with curiosity. Instead, I continued eating in the hope that one day he would tell me. This taste, though. I swore to myself that I would learn how to cook.